HS virtual open house. Okay. Um, Thank you for joining us at the CHS virtual open house. Welcome to the talk on the Bachelor of Environmental Studies. Speaking to you today will be the director of the BES program, Associate Professor Peter Todd.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Today I'm going to share a bit about our program, Bachelor of Environmental Studies. Um, Let me just dive straight into it. So this is a cross-disciplinary program between biology and geography. We call it an XDP. It's one of the few that we have in NUS, and it was the first one. So we've been running for 13, 14 years now. Um, and our program is actually, they've modeled various other programs in the university based on ours. Uh, so what does that mean? Essentially, environmental studies is a multidisciplinary problem, and we draw upon biology and geography as the core disciplines, but there's various other disciplines that we bring in. So we pull in from around the university to provide a more in-depth and multidimensional perspective to environmental studies. Um, but ultimately, we want to translate your passion into meaningful action. So all our students are always passionate about the environment. They want to make a difference, and we're here to try and help you do that. But as you know, there's a lot to do. Every day we hear about new environmental issues arising and ongoing problems. I know that this can be quite stressful, and part of the reason why our students join the program is so that they feel that they can make a difference and be part of the solution. So we have massive resource exploitation problems, whether they be non-living resources such as mining and water and so on, or living resources, overfishing, industrial scale farming, and even maybe finer scale issues of keeping live animals for food and so on. Urbanization is a important focus of ours. Being in Singapore, of course, one of the most densely populated countries in the world, makes it an ideal place for studying the effects of urbanization on the natural environment, and also how it contributes to larger global issues. Land conversion, again, regionally, we're in a very good place to do this. I mean, it's unfortunate that this is a regional problem, but it is. So we see forests disappearing to be replaced by things like oil palm, and in the process, we lose a huge amount of ecosystem services, and also this associated biodiversity loss. Plastic pollution, I mean, we cover various kinds of pollution. Plastic pollution is a hot topic at the moment. Again, something that you see in the papers every day. Lots of work that we've done in Singapore and that we know a lot more about plastic pollution issues locally and also in the region. And this is something that we encourage you to engage with. Biodiversity loss is something most of our students enjoy being in the natural environment. They enjoy going outdoors. We have active groups within the program who do nature guided walks, who are keen bird watchers and wildlife photographers and so on. So everybody's interested in natural history and the biodiversity that we have in Singapore, which is so rich, and our concerns about losing it, of course. And then the overarching problem of global climate change and how this is affecting everything, accelerating the losses that are being driven by some other factors such as pollution. So again, this is one of our the key foci of the program is understanding the synergies or the additive effects of these different stresses on different systems, and how these combine to cause habitat loss and so on. So uh, planning a way forward to especially in terms of global climate change is an ongoing challenge as we move forward to greener energies and other ways of how we can avoid overexploitation through recycling and so on, and all the associated challenges that go with that. So BS is designed to produce the next generation of environmental professionals who can contribute to solutions for complex modern environmental issues. So we engage with these issues from multiple perspectives and work with you to try and find solutions. So how can we promote sustainable coexistence of nature with modern society? So, as mentioned, BS is offered jointly by biology and geography. So, biology is in Faculty of Science and geography in FASS, the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. But we also have participation from Faculty of Law, the Swarthsey Hock School of Public Health, and the Centre for English Language Communication. So, this is the BES mission. We have four main goals: to foster a cross-disciplinary approach to identifying, analyzing, and solving environmental challenges in Singapore, the Asian region, and beyond. Um, so, excuse me, I have we've got some building work going on outside. I'm just going to stop a second and see if I can reduce this ambient noise. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm very sorry about that. We have the workers in the university are cutting the grass outside, and it's very noisy. I don't know if you're actually picking up on my microphone though. So maybe you use the opportunity to read these four missions. Um, so taking a cross-disciplinary approach to analysing and solving environmental challenges in Singapore, Asia and beyond, developing environmental leaders and advocates, agents of change who are scientifically informed and capable of generating solutions for a sustainable future. We blend knowledge with creativity so that graduates can readily adapt to an increasingly dynamic world and critically examine human-environment bonds through diverse pedagogies to nurture a personal conservation ethos. So these are very much central to what we do, and some aspects of this we really value. We really value the interdisciplinarity. We value creativity in our students. This is very important for finding solutions and for understanding our relationship with nature. So why BES? It's one of our greatest strengths is that we have a small annual cohort, so we're capped at 50 students. We normally get around 45 to 50 each year. And you'll be with those students for the 4 years. So you get to know them very well. It creates a very tight community, and you'll basically make friends for life. We have an exclusive core curriculum, so courses that we've designed to be interdisciplinary, and they're only available to you. There's one or two that we open up to other programs like life sciences and geography as well, but essentially the most of our E&V coded courses are just for this program. We have a specialized field course, which I'll talk a bit about later, internship opportunities, opportunities to study abroad, cross-disciplinary research opportunities, and opportunities to interact with environmental leaders. Um, You'll learn both soft and hard skills, so critical analysis, complex issues, creative thinking and problem solving, of course, lots of communication and teamwork, academic, technical and policy writing, very important skill, field sampling techniques, social science techniques, statistics and modeling, and then opportunities to learn things like GIS, environmental impact assessment, and so on. So this is the program structure. So if you don't have H2 Bio or equivalent, then you'll need to take a bridging course. Otherwise, I mean, but the course is basically open to everybody. We greatly reduced the number of prerequisites or the number of course the background that students needed to open up to different disciplines. In the years 1 and 2, you'll be taking the CHS curriculum along with all your classmates and program mates from across the university. So that's a broad range of courses that you'll usually do in the first 3 semesters or so of your time here. But you'll also have opportunity to take some of our core courses, environmental studies, interdisciplinary overview. So the ones in yellow are our own E&V coded courses, methods and techniques for environmental studies, communication environmental studies, the environment and public health and environmental law. So all these are the foundational courses that you'll all take in the first 2 years. And then some of these other courses, such as applied data analysis and earth system science, are open to you as well to take and read in the first 2 years. And then as you move into years 3 and 4, the CHS courses kind of drop off somewhat, and you're able to pack your 2 years with courses which are really central to your own interests. So this includes a large pool of courses from geography and biology, and then our higher level BES courses, environmental challenges in Asia, assessment of environmental impacts, our Europes, environmental studies internship, our field course, and environmental management in Singapore, which is the last course, the last E&V coded course that we do in Sem 2 of your 4th year. So BS is your major. It can't be taken as a second major. Some degree programs you can take as a second major. That's not the case with BS. You have to take it as your primary major. However, we encourage you to consider taking a minor or even 2 minors along with your major, or possibly a second major along with your BES major as well. So popular minor programs amongst our students are the minor in aquatic ecology, the minor in environmental sustainability. Both of these are basically run by teams from within Bachelor of Environmental Studies. And then also popular are life science, minor in life sciences, minor in GIS, minor in urban studies, and minor in geosciences. And there's lots of other minors across the university that you might also be interested in. The reason why students tend to go for these ones is that to take a minor, you need to have 5 courses to complete a minor, but it's possible to double count 2 of those courses. And because there's some overlap between these minors and BES, it means that you can get your minor without taking too many additional courses. I'm excited to share a new second major, also developed by the BES team, also co-run by biology and geography. So marine and freshwater ecology. So for this, you have to take 10 courses, which are so the second major makes up of 10 courses, but again, you can double count a certain number of those courses between the second major and BES. So the total number of courses that you need to take outside or in addition of your BES courses is actually only 6, which is fantastic. So very excited to introduce this. This is brand new. It's just started this semester. Okay, so I'm just going to run through a few of the courses that we offer in BES. So I mentioned E&V coded without really explaining it before. So you see E&V 2301, methods and techniques of environmental studies. So these E&V coded courses, if it's got E&V at the beginning, it means that they are particular to the Bachelor of Environmental Studies. They've been developed by us and they're taught by our team. So methods and techniques is basically equipping you with what you need to be able to go and measure the environment and also measure what people, the social science side of things as well. So perhaps what people's opinions are to particular new ideas or what they feel about habitat loss and so on. So you get to a design environmental research project. You get trips. We always try and get our students out into the field, so to Balea Creek and Labrador Nature Reserve, so that you can take some hands-on water sampling experiences, climate measurements, social data collection, do water quality and soil analysis in the lab, so learn some hard techniques there. Um, Learn a wide range of survey and monitoring techniques for aquatic and terrestrial systems. So these are essential for an environmental scientists as well as if you're interested in ecology, for example, or pursuing, like I say, a policy side of things, the social sciences, you'll learn all the techniques that go with all these fields, um, and learn how to do things like questionnaires and interviews as well. The ENV 3102, the field course Environmental Studies. This is a 2-week residential field course outside of Singapore. At the moment, doing this in Peninsular Malaysia, where you get to see some of the issues which are affecting the region more generally. Again, you're carrying out field-based studies. You'll have particular projects that you'll pursue throughout the 2 weeks, write a report at the end and give a presentation and so on. Lots of data collection. You get to see impacted forests, impacted coastlines, do some snorkeling over coral reefs, look at freshwater systems and see how these systems are being threatened by various stressors, and what the local organizations are doing to protect them. ENV 4101, Environmental Management in Singapore, basically draws together what you've learned throughout the 4 years in your BES program to better understand what are the management options in Singapore, and understand also how you probably have some understanding of that. As with any country, how the government operates is complicated, how the government interacts with its populace is complicated. Then you mix in there your grassroots organizations, your larger NGOs. Then so exactly how you integrate all these to come up with policy directions and so on is a huge challenge, and super interesting. So that's what this course tries to cover. So lots of guest speakers from different players within the Singapore ecosystem, to help you understand how it all works. We offer an environmental studies internship program. So internships are hugely important. We strongly encourage our students to do an internship. It's not compulsory, but like I say, we strongly encourage. And there's the university also encourages internships, and it offers internships. You can take an internship using the Talent Connect university system, but they cover a huge range of disciplines. So we offer our own curated internship program. So this is credit bearing, and we have a long list of organizations that we've partnered with over years, and we will try and match make and try and help you get a internship at some of these relevant organizations. So here we've got a DHI, which is the largest environmental consultancy in Singapore. We've got an internship at a Temasek Foundation, often have internships at NParks and various other industries as well. So agents and industries, everybody involved in some way with the environment, and it can make a dramatic difference to your employability. So we know from previous surveys that your chance of employment jumps up by 20 to 30% if you do an internship. We have this undergraduate research opportunities in environmental studies. So you can do undergraduate research opportunities in science, and you can do undergraduate research opportunity in geography as well. So these are other programs, but they are specific to life sciences, or they're specific to geography. So we wanted to create our own program, which allowed a more cross-disciplinary approach. So that's what we've done with UOPs. So if you have a problem like we have here, for example, so on these are student projects done before. On the left-hand side, this is using GIS to calculate the extent of coastal change in the Philippines, or Mindanao in this case. And so this uses a combination of a geography skill, which is GIS, but mixing it with the ecological ramifications, which is more of a biological insight. And then on the right, these are mangrove pods. So these are designed to grow mangroves in at Chekjawa to help protect the shoreline there. So BS graduates are highly employable. The program's been very successful. It's well established and well known. Employers know that students coming out of BES are well trained and generally very good at what they do. So they employers generally consider BES students as strong candidates for any job related to the environment. The opportunities out there include jobs in conservation, consultancy, sustainability, academia, government agencies and industries in the environment sector, of which is, of course, is a growing sector generally. So when I first started, NUS environment was still rather niche, whereas now it's very much mainstream, and the job opportunities keep on growing for students with environmental training. So, as our past president of National University of Singapore, who's now permanent secretary for National Research and Development, said, the environmental issues we face today are complex and span many knowledge domains. The degree program in environmental studies will nurture a pool of graduates who are able to think deeply and broadly about these issues and help them develop novel solutions for Singapore, Asia, and beyond. So this quote really sums up what we're about, and also kind of conveys how important it is and how important it is considered at the highest levels of government. So please come and talk to our students. This is the online session. So I'm sure you're aware that we have a physical session next weekend on the Saturday, the 7th of March, in the Stephen Riley Centre, which is in the centre of NUS. So please come along to the physical session where we'll be there to talk to you some more. We'll have some of our current students for you to talk to, so you can learn more about the student experience, and also get to ask us more questions face to face. However, you have also, we encourage you to ask questions now as well, in case you can't join us next week. So I think this takes to the end of the talk. Yep. So you can find out more from our website. If you have any inquiries, you can always write to Ian V Help. So send an email if you have any specific questions. You can see our email address up, our website address here as well. So I think I'll stop here, and if you have any questions, please let me know, and please take this survey as well for the open house experience. So let me see if there's a. You can also put your questions in the chat. So if you're a bit shy to speak out, just pop them into the chat and I can see them there. Okay, I'm going to stop share here. Okay, so no questions so far. Any queries at all about what we do, or any aspects of the program, or how you're able to join the program, or what the experiences are like? I don't think, do we have any BS students with us today, Kin? No. Okay, so the students aren't with us today, but we do have some idea of what it's like for them as well.
Okay, we do have one question. Okay, we have two questions. One of them says, if they're weak at geography but strong at biology, is it still possible to enter environmental studies?
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't have any of the only if you have biology, then it means that you don't have to do the bridging course. But you don't even need to have geography, you don't need to have biology. You can come in without either of those. Yeah. So you can join BES even if you don't have biology, and if you don't have geography, you can still join BES. If you have one or the other, that's great. If you have both, that's also great. But absolutely, we have a lot of students who have a biology background, but not necessarily a geography one. It's not an issue. And we do have students who worry a little bit about taking geography if they haven't done it before. They worry about it before they come in. But I've been doing this for quite a long time. I can't think of any students who have come to me and said, I'm struggling with geography. So they tend to learn, tend to get up to speed and cope with it without too much problem.
Okay. So the next question is it difficult to join this program if it's only capped at 50 students per year?
Uh, it's competitive. It's competitive. But then the university is also increasing the number of students that we take in through what we call ABA, the aptitude-based admissions. So it's not all based on your grades anymore. So yes, if you get excellent grades and you put BES as your first choice, there's a good chance you'll be able to come straight in. But if your grades are not great, but you still put BES as first choice, it's important to put BES as first choice because we have a lot of applicants, and if BES is your third choice, and then it's obviously going to have an impact on the chances of joining us. Um, but uh, if your grades are not as great as you hope they would be, it's definitely still worth applying, and hopefully you'll get to the interview stage, which will be by me and also Deputy Director Dr. Susan Owen, who wasn't able to join us today, and Kin, who's here, and then you have to then you have an opportunity through interview to join the program. It's important also when you're applying to highlight your interests, your reasons for wanting to join BES, and ideally, if you have it, anything that you've done related to environment before. So if you've been involved in CCAs at school, or if you've been volunteering, or anything that's related to nature, ecology, conservation, the environment, sustainability. If you have any sort of essentially evidence that you've been engaged with that for some time, it will help you a lot.
Okay. So the next question, I think I can answer this one. They said, if I am a CHS student, but I declared my major as DSA because my RP is not high enough, can I change my major midway if I do well? We do have transfer applicants. You can change your major into, like, you can apply to change your major to BS by your fifth semester. I would recommend doing it as early as you can. It will be similar to admissions, except as an NUS applicant, you can transfer your credits, like keep your credits from what you've done before into BS. Yeah. Anything to add, Peter?
No, no. I
Okay.
mean, but it's except for transferring as soon as you can, so that you can
Yeah.
feel part of the community a bit more. I see are there any exchange programs available, and with what universities? So yes, we have. So the SEP, the Student Exchange Program, is university wide. It's not special to BES. But again, we strongly encourage our students to take this opportunity. So that's to go abroad for one semester. The BES students have access to the same pool of universities that everybody does within NUS. So that's about 300 universities across the world. But what we do have is so we have a very active student committee, which we'd encourage you to join, and they curate a list of universities that BS students have gone to previously, and that list includes the experiences of those students, and also the courses that they took at those universities and so on. So we have uh, a good understanding of which universities are strong in environmental studies, that offer courses which are relevant to the BS program, and also where students were able to enjoy themselves, or maybe have exposure to environments which are maybe quite different to the tropics that we're used to here. So yes, lots of definitely opportunity to study abroad, and also we will facilitate that as much as we can.
Okay, so the next question is it possible for a life science major to take any of the BS modules, specifically to do with biodiversity and field work? Mm,
So we have um, two of our courses, if I remember rightly, our environmental impact assessment course. Oh, is it three now? Yeah.
yeah,
And then 3101, Zihan's
3101.
course.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then what?
sustainability? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And sustainability. So we have three courses open to um, students who are not taking BES. The sustainability one is because it's the anchor course for the anchor course for the minor in environmental sustainability, and the other two just because um, we want to we want other students to be able to kind of have an understanding of what BES does and the kind of courses that we run. From those three courses, though, the none of them are particularly field-based. But if you're doing life sciences and you're interested in specializing in EEB, ecology, evolution, and biodiversity, then there's lots of courses within that program that do involve field work. So don't worry, if you're doing life sciences, you will still have opportunity to do lots of field work.
Okay. Thank you. So the next question is, are most activities outside of class?
No, I wish they were. Uh, that's no, I think most is pushing it. But we do, we really do try and get our students outdoors or into the lab um, as much as possible. But of course, there's still a substantial lecture component as well, and tutorials and various other types of pedagogy. So if you remember in the BES mission, I mentioned the diverse pedagogies. So basically, that means diverse teaching modes. So we mix it up to make it as interesting as possible.
Okay, I see a few questions in the chat. Could I get you to
Yeah,
send them
yeah.
into the Q&A section so that's easier for us to keep track of which ones have been answered already? Yeah, thank you. So the next question is, can I reapply for BS if I can't declare it during the course declaration exercise? Yes, you'll have to apply. Like I said, it's through admission, so you can't. BS is because it's a closed program, you can't declare it during the course declaration exercise. That has to be the transfer has to be done from the central office, basically.
I've got a message about, is it possible to take a second major with this degree? Do we need to indicate it upon admission? Absolutely possible to take a second major. So all minors in NUS are 5 courses, all second majors are 10 courses. If you were doing a second major in business, for example, which I think they offer, there's no overlap in business courses and BS courses. So you'd have to take 10 courses completely outside of BS, which is quite a lot. You have the space to do it. So we have this unrestricted elective space. So you have the space to do it. But the challenge tends to be with timetable clashes and so on. But if you're doing a second major, which is maybe related to BS in some way, where there's some overlap, so if you're doing it in life sciences, for example, or the one in marine and freshwater ecology I mentioned, then there's some overlap, and then you can double count some of those courses, and that reduces the number of courses you have to do, which are completely outside your major. So completely doable. Obviously, doing a second major is harder than doing a minor. Um, so the one thing, so you definitely don't need to declare it upon admission. You need to declare it by the end of your 5th semester. But if you need to be thinking about it a lot earlier than that. So really, I would, if you want to do a second major, you need to be planning your timetable from the get-go. So in the first year, thinking about how you're going to work this out throughout the whole 4 years. Because the main reason that our students don't complete their minors or their second majors is simply down to timing. Just being squeezed, because if they want to fit in a study abroad program for 1 semester, maybe they want to do an internship, and all the various other opportunities that we have, it can just get a bit tight. So you need to plan well, and also build in some slack for unexpected things like courses not being offered that year and so on. So definitely doable. You just need to plan. And also, there's no penalty for not completing. So if you sign up for a second major or you sign up for a minor, if you manage to complete all the courses you need to do, that's great. Then you on your transcript, it will say that you completed this minor or this second major. However, for whatever reason you don't manage to complete it, it's not there's no it's not shown up on your transcript. There's nothing that says, oh, they didn't manage to complete their second major. It just doesn't appear at all. So there's no penalty for not completing.
Okay, someone asked about are there any exchange programs available and with what university? So this was asked in the chat. Um,
So it's I think similar question to I had before. It's a long list of universities that we have agreements with. So basically, we take their students, they take our students, and they include some fantastic universities. My only advice for people doing SEP, because okay, the first thing is out of the many opportunities you have at NUS. Taking a semester abroad, studying a semester in another university in another country is probably the one that I would personally encourage students to prioritize. It's a fantastic opportunity and is often life-changing for our students. Um, but I would add that if you're trying to, obviously it's very popular, and also some universities are more popular than others. So, famous universities and also famous cities. People want to go to London, they want to go to Tokyo, they want to go to Seoul. And that will make the competition a bit harder. Whereas we have all these other universities, which are also fantastic, but maybe less well known or for whatever reason, less popular. So I encourage our students to go for those because they'll have a different experience and they'll get more chance of being able to go.
okay, we have another question. In environmental studies, what kind of experiences will we get, and how will those experiences help us get a job in the future?
That's a that's a very big question. So it's 4 years worth of experiences. So uh, yeah, I mean, I think have a good look at our website. But we train our students to have a good understanding of the natural environment. So there's a substantial component of ecology in there where you get a good understanding of how the natural environment works and how to measure the natural environment and how to collect data, interpret those data, write those data up, and so on. So there's a compulsory statistics course which might sound a bit scary, but it's taught by a fantastic lecturer, and most of our students really enjoy it. Um, so the whole data handling and working with data and communicating results and so on is central to the program. So that's for ecology, but we do the same in physical geography as well. So that's measuring the physical environment, water quality, soil parameters, and so on. And also the human side of things. So your human geography, your social sciences, questionnaires, interviews, and how you understand people's opinions and thoughts and how you interpret those. So there's all that set of skills, which is substantial, being able to design studies, collect data, write it up, communicate it, and so on. These are all very fundamental. Lots of for instance, identification skills and so on. Again, learning your natural history. Um, but then maybe more complex topics or they're all quite complex, but topics on sustainability and measuring sustainability. Uh, that's so we have a minor for that now because it's such an important area by itself. Um, the Lots of soft skills as well, lots of teamwork, working with your peers, but also communicating with people from industry and agencies and NGOs and so on. I don't know, the list goes on and on. Lots of laboratory skills as well. Um, and then your employers, it depends on your employer. If you're working for an environmental consultancy, then they're going to want to know that you can collect data and analyze those data, interpret those data, and write it up. If you're working for an agency, depending on the agency, they might be more interested in how you understand policy and the social side of things. Although if the agency is perhaps end parts, then they might also be interested in your ecological or physical geography skills as well.
Okay. Thank
I've got
you.
I've
Yeah,
got one here
so
about diving. Do you need a certificate? Do you need to be a diver if you want to take marine related minor? No, not at all. There's no the minor doesn't require you to be a diver. We do lots of intertidal work. We do aquarium work. Um, the yeah, not necessary to dive.
another question is, do jobs that require this degree pay well?
Uh, it depends. It depends. Some do, some, some not so much. I'm afraid it's arguably, a bit like some of jobs such as nursing and so on that people do because they love it and they might not get paid, as well as they should be. So there is a bit of that. Um, but I if com we are comparable to the life science students, for example, as far as median salaries go. I think it's okay, but it depends. If you work more in industry, or if you work as a part of a sustainability team in a company, for example, like a bank, then you might get paid a bit more.
Okay, so another question is, since this course is quite competitive and there is no selection interview, do the five personal statements and CCA records play a major role?
Yes, so there is an interview. I mean, we interview about a third of our intake. So then the personal statements become very important because we read those. Okay, so uh, there will be a band of students who come into the program directly because based on fantastic grades and also their stated interests. And then there'll be a lot of students who are that we can potentially interview. And that list of students who we can potentially interview could be 100 students long, and we can't realistically interview that many. So we will cut down that long list to a shorter list based on personal statements.
Thank you. So the next question is, are there graduate or postgraduate opportunities after BS? What are some areas that BS graduates go into?
Um, so if you're talking about postgraduate can mean a master's or PhD. Um, we have master's programs which are what we call taught masters. So the primary learning mode is again more lectures and so on, and then we have masters by research and we have PhDs by research. A lot of our students go on to all of those. I would say a substantial. I can't remember the percentage. I'd say about 20% of our students actually go on into some form of graduate study. Um, and many of them have done PhDs and done it very successfully, and they go on into academic careers as essentially as scientists or as researchers in social sciences. So yes, because our students tend to, are often academically strong, and they enjoy doing research. I think um, I would argue that there is an alignment between the type of students that we get into BES and their interest in the environment and their interest in doing research and further studies. I think the curiosity, the creativity, the desire to discover, the desire to be part of the solution drive some of our students to doing graduate studies. So yes, it's a popular route, and some of our students stay within NUS to do their graduate studies. I've had many in my own lab, and some of them will go abroad. I've got a question here is this degree recognized for overseas job opportunities? Do some graduates work overseas? They certainly do. The I To be fair, I don't know if the BES program specifically is known internationally. NUS is known internationally. So NUS, is now ranked on the QS rankings. It's ranked eighth in the world. It's an incredibly strong university. It has a fantastic reputation around the world. So I think any student who graduates from any degree program in NUS will fare well around the world. They'll be recognized from coming from a top tier university. Um, Whether they, like I say, whether they know about BES, I'm not sure. Within Singapore, yes. Outside of Singapore, I don't know. That would be up to you to big it up, right? So when you're applying to jobs around the world and saying you're coming from NUS and you say you also come from the BES, which is a very specific small cohort program, then it's up to you to big up the program, sell yourself, and sell BES as well. Thank you.
Okay. So another question is this degree more biochem based or humanities geography based?
Um, it's uh, it's in the middle. So I wouldn't say there's not, I wouldn't call it biochem. It's on the, so within biology, it leans towards the ecological side of biology. So there's opportunity to do biochem, and if you want to do that, go down, and there's certainly opportunity to do genetic and molecular work and so on. But it's really is split 50-50 between geography and biology. So if you look at the curriculum in detail, and you can see that, you can download it from the website, you'll see that it's everything is evenly split between geography and biology. But I have to admit that there's a little bit of a science lean because in biology, most of it is science. Although interestingly, in biology, we're starting to do a bit more on the human side of things as well. But in geography, it's a 50-50 split between physical geography and human geography. So the human geography is essentially a social science, and physical geography is essentially a more pure science or a physical science. So um, there's a maybe the human side of it only accounts for about a quarter of what we do. I wished it was a bit more, and we keep on trying to find ways to increase it.
Okay, another question is, if I take environmental studies, can I work in the laboratory?
Yes, it all depends on what kind of laboratory you want to work in. But if you so remember that we have these core courses, the B&V coded courses that you have to take. And then you have lots of courses from biology and geography that you can choose from. And then you have your UE space. So if you want to strengthen, so for instance, if you wanted to, it depends on your laboratory skills. If you're talking about traditional biology type laboratories, then I'd probably encourage you to do a minor or second major in life sciences and build up your strength in those pure biology laboratory skills if that's what interests you.
Okay, thanks. So another question is, how competitive is this degree compared to similar ones offered by other universities?
It's the it's it's well established. So I know that we have other universities offering similar-ish degrees. I think ours is strong on particularly strong in ecology, particularly strong with that we include more humanities than some of our colleagues elsewhere, and we've been doing it for a long time. So we have a strong reputation. So I would say that we're very competitive.
Thank you. So another question is, how does BS compare to life sciences and what makes BS distinct as an XDP?
That's a great question. Um, so life sciences, the life science program in the US is quite broad, but it's essentially it has two groups these days. We have our um, EEB group, which is ecology, evolution, and biodiversity, and then the other group, which is I think now is being pulled into biomedical sciences. Um, so uh, we're BS is quite closely aligned to the EEB program. So the ecology, evolution, and biodiversity is also fantastic, and I'm part of that program. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Biological Sciences. I'm also part of the EB group within my department, and my colleagues are fantastic, and that's a strong specialization to do. Um, but it doesn't have a great deal of physical geography, and it has very little in the way of humanities or the social sciences. That's not part of it, or it's a very, very small part of it. So that's the main advantage. You doing BES, you get the whole geography side of things as well, and you get this ability to merge these disciplines. So we also have relationships with other departments and other faculties that you can take courses from. So it's that interdisciplinary perspective which makes it special. So, but you also can take pretty much all the courses that are offered by EB within life sciences. So you have access to all of that, but you also have access to everything that geography has to offer and also various other courses around the university.
Thank you. So there's one more question. What's the percentage of field work versus lectures and tutorials for BES?
It's difficult to say. So I mean, a typical BS course or structure would be half half. It's very normal to have 4 hours a week for each course. That's standard, really. It's actually pretty standard across the university. So you have 4 hours a week, and what often happens is that you'll have a lecture slot of 2 hours every week, and then a 4 hour practical every other week. So every 2 weeks, you'll have an opportunity to go to do some stuff in the lab or to go out into the field or both. So I would say that for most of the courses which are EB focused or sorry, BES focused or from EB within life sciences, 50% is doing something outside the lecture theatre.
Okay. So it looks like, wait, one more question. Will there be a final project in environmental studies before graduating? I think this will be one of our last questions, unless anyone has any more burning questions to send in.
So it's up to you. So you can do a final year project. It's not compulsory. So you can complete BES purely based on coursework. But we strongly encourage our students to either do, to do this undergraduate research opportunities or in environmental studies, Europes, or some type of Europe or Europs. So there's three different ones: Europe, Europs, and Europes. And you can do those in your second year, third year. You can even do it in your second semester of your first year, although students tend to not have the room to do that. So we strongly encourage you to do some sort of your own independent research. And your final year project is tends to be the largest project, the opportunity to do the more in depth and more advanced type research. So we encourage you to do it, but it's not compulsory. It's great fun. I mean, I'm biased. I'm a researcher. That's what we do. My feeling is that if you spend 4 years at university and your main experience of university is sitting in the lecture theatre or perhaps going out to doing short trips in the field, you're missing an opportunity to actually do your own research, to come up with your own research questions, to collect your own data. That's the exciting part of being a researcher, the discovery of it, and so on. And of course, you learn a broad range of skills doing that. So we definitely strongly encourage our students to do research, but you don't have to.
Another question. So what are some Europes that BS students do?
Uh, so I don't have a list in front of me. It's a it really it's a huge range. So it could be purely sustain. It could be very sustainable related. So are plastic bags really? How much difference does it make to reduce plastic bag usage? How much difference does it make to reduce plastic straw usage or something like this? Or can we use black soldier flies for recycling food waste? Or what's the environmental or the life cycle analysis of a cotton tote bag? Or what about our human wildlife conflict? So what are we going to do about macaques invading people's properties, or are otters going to become a problem in Singapore if the population keep on growing? Or what can we do about in the face of sea level rise, how can we protect Singapore's coastlines in a more ecologically friendly way rather than just building concrete walls or something like this? So I don't know. It's a long list of environmental studies is incredibly broad and covers things from pure conservation of, charismatic megafauna to really quite technical engineering solutions for for energy and pollution and so on. So the world is your oyster. You can study any of these things.
Okay. So we're almost at the hour, so we will be taking in one more question. There
I'm
are
just
two in line right now.
Can
So
I'm just
yeah.
gonna I've just got a question here saying about can I share the last slide again? So I'm just going to
Oh,
share a
yeah.
screen so that students can see where the website is and so
I
on.
think that was for me.
Oh, was it? Okay, okay, I beg your pardon. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
So one more question is about the field trips. Which countries does this degree take students to?
Peninsula Malaysia. So the field course at the moment is Peninsula Malaysia for the ENV 3102. However, we have recently, just this last couple of years, uh, opened up other field courses to our students. So previously, you had to take all BS students had to take our own field course. But because that site sometimes clashed with students' internships and some other bits and pieces, we've now allowed students to take other field courses, and they can count that as their field course experience. So we have a short but growing list of alternative field courses. So the BS1 runs in Peninsular Malaysia. Some of these other field courses run in Thailand, in Kenya, in Africa. Kin, where else are other courses? Do we have one in Cambodia?
Yes, that's the other level 4000 geography course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have, and there's a couple of other courses related to the colleges, which we also accept. Um, so, uh, yeah, so the BS one is Malaysia, but there's other opportunities to other countries. Was that the last question, or was there another one as well, Kim?
There is one, but I'm typing it out. I think this one's better for me to just write it down. Um,
Okay, any last questions at all? Last chance. So